It's Destination Newry, the morning programme. I'm Rowan Hand. This is the captain of Mayo Bridge Golf Club, Des Carson. 6,000 quid for the Down syndrome folk.
Yes.
Well done on your
good.
captain's day.
Very good.
Yeah.
And there's still some things to come in yet. We've got a few things out in the local shops, you know, the £2 a line things. And
yes.
There's a few of them to come in yet.
Yeah.
So all fingers crossed for it.
How did it go on the day? Tell me, did the weather favour you?
Early on in the morning it was a bit damp with a few showers and a few heavy ones, but every team that we had turned up.
Wow.
We had 188 golfers out over the 2 days.
Yes.
And at this point I'd like to thank Damien McCluskey,
yes.
The secretary of the club, for all the work that he did to make this thing a success.
Well, this thing doesn't happen without the secretary, does it?
He's the most important man in the club.
Yeah.
You know, the captain's only a figurehead. The secretary is the guy who keeps everything ticking over. He wrote the letters out to the people for the sponsorship, got all that in, kept in touch with me every day. Yeah. On the day was there, worked out the guys' handicaps, got them set off at their proper times, and nothing fazed him. He just done it.
But isn't that the way? And well done to the gentleman.
Yes.
The secretary, his name again?
Damien McCluskey.
Damien McCluskey. Well done, because no matter what you say, you are the pen pusher, you are the phone ringer, you are the man that says, get yourselves up here now, you're going out at 3 o'clock, and good luck to you, and bring plenty of money for the Down syndrome children.
And the other guy who done a lot was the club press officer, Ronan Campbell.
Yes.
He was responsible for getting it onto the papers and the media, and he done everything.
But listen, we talked before the event. It turned out to be a huge success.
Well, we didn't think it was going to be anywhere near that, to be honest. You know, what
was the moment when it all clicked into gear and it went into very, very successful overdrive?
I don't actually know the exact minute that it happened, but it seemed to just click. The last week probably, before we went, the sheets that we had out for the guys to put their names on just seemed to fill up, and people were saying, we must get our names down there, like we're booked for Sunday or Saturday or whatever day they wanted.
Why the very special people of Down syndrome? Why did you choose Down syndrome?
I had a second cousin years and years ago who was Downs, and I was very fond of him, and he gave me a lot of happiness, you know, things that he did and fun that he was. And then years later, when I was in the band, we always did Tower Hill. You were familiar, Mary Kelly, the late Mary Kelly, used to get us to go over to Tower Hill to play there for them. And they always seem very responsive to you, and they're very loving and affectionate. And I just thought there was something needed, and I done it.
And the contact with Down syndrome on this occasion, who were you? Which part of Down syndrome were you with?
It was a lady called Rona McClurry. And she was the secretary of the local thing, and a guy called Tommy Gordon, who has a Downs guy called Sean, a great character.
Well, they always are, you know, because I've met so many folk with Down syndrome. There's a divilment, as it were, that comes to mind.
There's a bit of a divilment.
Not very far behind the eyes.
No.
They'll pull your leg, and they're great. The other thing I noticed, there's a wee fella, a lovely lad. He's not a wee fella anymore. He's an altar boy in the Dominican. He's there. He's a great swimmer as well. He's got Down syndrome. But whenever the people, he's a most amazing wee fellow. If you ever go to the Dominican to a mass and he's serving the mass as an altar boy, he rings the bell, and they ring the bell. You think it's Duffy Circus coming into town, but this wee boy just goes. It's just lovely.
Yeah.
It's very, very spiritual. They have an awareness of all of that, I think.
Well, we brought about. We didn't bring the people. Their parents brought them out to the golf that day. And they got a spin in one of the carts, and they got into the bunker, and we got them a few putters out onto the putting green, and they putted, and they really, really enjoyed it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I tell you, I know about golf carts because my former wife and I were passing through an airport in Spain recently, and the man came over to us and said, "Sir, madam, would you like to journey to be taken to the gate on the buggy?"
Right.
And we were obviously appeared with some sort of disablement that they were coming to take us. So I said, "Yes, by all means, darling, let me help you."
Surely.
Wasn't it an awful thing when people start to make distinctions like that about you? You suddenly realize I'm growing old
here. It's a certain age.
Yeah.
There's a certain age.
Well, listen, it was a long way from golf that you were when you were in the Boy Scouts with me. That's a long time ago.
Well, you see, golf was only for people who had
the
money,
knobs,
I suppose,
the
that
snobs,
time. And
the knobs and the snobs.
Eventually, it's there for everyone now, and it's affordable.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about it, like, you know.
Yeah.
and the time and the, you know, at the 70 years of age almost, and playing a sport, and playing competitively.
Yeah.
It's very, very good, you know, and Mayo Bridge is the place to do it. You know?
It is.
It's the place.
It is. I remember, I have to tell you this, and God rest Paddy O'Hanlon. Paddy and I had a great row one day. But it was easy to have a row with a lovely Paddy.
Right.
You could row, but then it's gone. It's finished with. But he had proposed me with Patsy Quinn to be a member of the Warren Point Club, the golf club. And I made my application. Nothing happened for 9 months. And then I get a notification summoning me to a meeting of the committee.
Yes.
Present yourself at 7:30 to the committee for consideration of your application. And I said, 9 months ago?
No.
Well, I didn't go.
No.
But I wrote an entire column in the paper, ripping them to bits for their bad professional and business manners. O'Hanlon went mad, and we had a great row, and we, of course, we loved each other greatly. And that's the thing about people you have respect for and you like. You can have a row and you get on with it.
If you'd like to join Mayo Bridge, we would certainly take your money and get you going, but we wouldn't keep you.
No.
You'll not have to wait 9 months.
I got into golf for all the wrong reasons, I can tell you.
Good restaurant.
I know.
You would like that?
No, but it's like being down in Spain when I found I couldn't work, Des, down in Spain. I was too poor to be a tourist. I'm too poor now to go to restaurants. I cook for myself and that's it, you know. No, my days of... I wouldn't be very good in the socialising end of things because I'm still a cantankerous I'll get.
At times. You didn't get that overnight. You were like that in the Scouts a wee bit years ago.
Would you not have been a wee bit more gentle to me there and sort of said, well, maybe, or do you really think so, Rowan?
Maybe you have a lot on your plate. Maybe you're...
Well, you do what you have to do, don't you?
Yeah.
Whenever you have to do it, you do it.
Oh, your friend was asking about you in Kentucky.
Who?
Donnie Pitt.
Donnie. Yes. He'll see us tomorrow morning when this goes out.
He watches, yes. And he actually sent us a prize for the raffle as well.
Lovely. Good man, Donnie. That was
the whole way from
very
Kentucky,
well done.
Yeah. Thank you,
all the way from Kentucky. And it's so good there. Do you remember the scouting days?
I do. I remember you taking me and tramping us up Benson's Glen.
Benson's was a great place.
It was a great place. And I'm sure we thought we were never going to see home again. And we're only 2 miles down the Omeath Road. And we lived on beans for a couple of days. And I think you were the guy that taught me how to make stew.
I did. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. And we made it up in the hedgerows of Fathom. Yeah. We got, and the big trick was to cut the potatoes and the meat more or less the same size. Yeah. We cubed it all. We made it. But it stood you in good stead.
Trying to keep that going on a fire of bits of stick and it go down and then running to get more to keep it going. And then on the Sunday morning, frog march to Clog Chapel for Mass.
Yeah, and the cathedral was the place.
No, but from Benson's Glen.
Oh, from Benson's Glen.
Clog,
yeah. But Benson's Glen was an adventure playground because if you remember it, there was a chasm, you went down and there were trees lying across it and you were crawling across the trees.
Well, it was
we thought we were in the Wild West or somewhere.
It was our Orlando, Florida, wasn't it?
It was. We didn't need any Disneyland. We had our own.
No sun cream. Pancho and I were talking about that the other day.
Now, Pancho, there's a great name. Now, that's our mate. He was in the Scouts as well.
He was,
Pancho Ferran, yeah.
You got a bit of olive oil rubbed on you and you cooked, and that's what they done on us.
That's what they did, yeah.
No 20 factors then.
But have you a good feeling about that past?
Yeah, I enjoyed my life.
Yeah, I did too.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
And you see, dare I say that the heart of Des Carson, who, the heart that was big enough to think, I'll do something for the Down syndrome children, a lot of that came from her scouting ideals and what we were taught.
Well, it was instilled in you, I suppose, not to be doing anybody any wrong, probably.
I always remember in Africa, hearing an old African teacher in the bush, an old man, and he looked across the valley where the SMA brothers, fathers and the OLA sisters were for years teaching the children. He looked at Topo Island is the name of the place, and he reached across the book. You can hold that in your hand. That's the beginnings of the book. And he stretched his arm across the valley like that, Des.
Yeah.
And he said, anyone who ever came here to be taught never had his name associated with any bad thing.
There you go.
Similarly with the Scouts, we were blessed in that,
and the footsteps of love, yeah.
Yeah, that's so. It all went well, and it was born. When did the golfing start for you?
About 10 years ago.
10.
Damien McCluskey was there before us. He was one of the founder members, I think, of the club. But Pancho and I decided about 10 years ago we'd have a go on it. We're not any better today than we were then. But he's a little better, you know.
What's your handicap?
About 27 at the minute. But then I had to get a new hip and a knee and that, so I'm blaming that.
Yeah,
I was going well until that happened.
I keep asking people of golf, if you're below par, if you're below par at golf, you're doing good.
Oh, very good.
If you're below par on your day-to-day business, you have a headache and you're not doing good.
Exactly right.
I
exactly
don't know.
right. But you have to remember, us guys on 27, we're as good as 98% of the golfers in the world.
Yes, yeah.
Because everybody's playing around.
I have had the good fortune of playing with Rory McIlroy. I've seen him play, and it was a nationwide piece I was doing.
Right.
It was just a bit of a knockabout. But I make the mention because at close quarters filming him, I saw a Rory McIlroy swing.
Right.
It was like a snake or a mongoose turning.
Yeah.
The entire spine swung round, turned on its axis. I never saw anything like it in my life. And then I've seen fellas, and I take the time, if I'm putting petrol in my car at the garage outside Warren Point, the Texaco, you can look over to one of the tee boxes there.
That's right, yeah.
And I see these idiots hitting putts, and you know.
But this is the beauty of starting young. You learn properly.
You do.
Well, if you don't start till you're 60 years of age, obviously you
but
can't.
You've
your
done
body
very
can't.
well. No, you can't. Your body can't do it. There's no way your body can do it. No way.
But it's fun, and if it ceases to be fun, stop it.
Yeah. There used to be the knob element in it down at Warren Point, especially.
There was, yes.
The fellas went round. How they didn't trip and kill themselves with their nose so high in the air for the most of their lives. I remember one fella down there. There's a boy, a very decent man, came in. He was invited there, and he was going to the bar. And a particular man, a member. This is in the last 10 years. Put his foot up like that and said, "Are you a member here?" There was that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But that doesn't exist at Maybridge.
No.
And it doesn't, I have to say, it doesn't exist at Warren Point anymore.
We have a certain amount of etiquette as well.
Oh, etiquette's not the same thing. No. Etiquette is right.
Yeah. But you would know not to be coming into anybody's restaurant and putting your foot on the table.
No.
Really,
No, it was a member put the foot on the table. He said, "Are you a member here?
He was asking
You're not getting in here," kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Or if you're going to get in here, you're going to have to take my foot out of the way.
Oh, right. Well,
there was all of that sort of nonsense.
That
does not happen in Warren Point anymore.
No,
I know.
No, we wouldn't have that either. You know?
So you're telling me you have a great restaurant at Maybridge?
The restaurant is fantastic.
What makes it good?
Obviously the food and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the welcome feeling that you would get when you went to it. A guy called Raymond Murray from Rathfriland.
Yeah.
He's
and what does he specialise in?
He's very good on steaks.
I heard that said.
He's very good on steaks.
Raymond Murray
very
on
good
steaks.
on meats. But he also, fish, and that's very good as well.
Yeah. It's as well as the exercise. It's the sociability of the experience.
Yes, it's a nice place to go into. You know, when you go in, it's not all heads turning to look at you. Everybody feels welcome. Who are you, sort of thing. We don't have that in our
indeed
club.
you don't. Indeed you don't. And we wish you well.
And the Fagans are very down there. Joe'll meet you at the gate, and he'll.
Yeah.
If you got above your station, Joe wouldn't be long telling you.
I love that. Listen, it's a pleasure talking to you, Des.
Thanks very much.
And we've been shooting the breeze. But the underpinning thing of the whole lot is the fact that you and your colleagues at the club, the Maybridge Golf Club, raised £6,000 for Down syndrome work here with the folk who have Down syndrome in our area. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
I'd like to thank all the people who helped us in any way, give prizes, sponsor. I'd like to thank yourself, Rowan, for taking us in earlier on, Pancho and I, and giving us a bit of advertising on the thing as well. It was great.
I was very lucky you didn't charge me for doing that because you were so very good. You give me a great entertainment value on the programme for an hour that day.
Thanks to everybody who helped us in every way that they could. Thank you.
That's Des Carson from captain of Maybridge Golf Club.